going to be a really aggressive map, and I know why TaToH's picked it, because it will suit his kind of really aggressive forward style. Players just heading into the map, so into the game, so I don't even need to wait for you to show you the map, because we have the map to show you. So if you look at the minimap here, you can see how it is. These are shallows with no fish. I'm just going to check for boars and things like that, because I am admin and I need to make sure that everything is present for both players. You can see 2 boars. This is how the golden stone is supposed to be. 2 boars. So everything seems to be fine. Players have got their resources. So let's introduce the players and get into the game. TaToH is in the orange again, and MbL in the grey again at the top. So TaToH at the bottom with Mongols, which he hasn't used up to this point. I think that's very, very interesting, because I thought like Koreans might be a nice pick that he might go for on this map. Like I absolutely foresaw TaToH choosing this as a home map at some point in the game, because you can see the rush distance between the players is just tiny, and you can apply so much pressure to their starting area with a tower rush. But at the same time, you need to secure extra resources because you've only got 1 golden stone. There's lots of golden stone on the outside if you look, and if you can see on the minimap, it's spread very fairly and regularly. So you're always going to be able to find resources on the outside, but you do need to secure them. That's the challenge. But Mongols are really nice to do a mix of a trush and kind of trash forward, perhaps, because obviously you can get a really nice uptime. You can push deer in that are quite close. In this case, these are really fairly easily pushable deer for both players, really. And I think TaToH is going to be going up and doing a tower rush with possibly some trash as well, because he's not going to be able to make too many towers out of that 1 stone tile unless he goes to the outside. I was actually talking with him before the game, and he was like, "Oh, there's not much stone on this map," with us like a kind of like sad face emoticon. But this kind of map definitely suits his style. Meanwhile, we have MbL as Vikings. I am not able to guess his intentions with Vikings, but it's kind of there are still a pretty good civ on any kind of like open land map, and I think that with the potential for this game to be very, very messy and economies to be spread about in different places, and villagers potentially having to travel a long way, like say if your economy ends up in the back over here somewhere and the villagers are travelling from the TC over here in feudal age to get some gold or something, like wheelbarrow could really help with getting that sort of, the free wheelbarrow from Vikings could really help. And obviously when you've got a messy game where villagers are going idle all over the place, it's helpful to have the remaining villagers working optimally, and if TaToH's going to be really aggressive, then he won't be getting wheelbarrow for a long time, that's for sure. So that could give MbL a kind of macro advantage. You can see TaToH's just gone away for such a crazy fast uptime, because he's brought in his second boar when there's still 100 food on the first one, so he's just going to probably get the food from both of those boars and click up potentially before 7 minutes. MbL, meanwhile, just wants to wall up this whole thing, which, provided he kind of keeps an eye on TaToH's movements and where towers are potentially popping up, could work. And if he kind of keeps TaToH out and then uses that awesome early Viking eco to just kind of get ahead in a macro sense and get up to the castle age a lot faster, then it could work out really well, because Vikings, for all of their kind of like shortcomings in the late game, in the kind of mid game, they really are able to be very, very strong, just because the economy, like free handcart, is just such a powerful bonus. And you know, like doing expos and mangonels and things with Vikings in the castle age is just so strong. So TaToH's going to need to kind of break this defensive line of MbL. TaToH says why I didn't start with those palisades. He's lamenting the fact that MbL has kind of seen TaToH's strategy coming from a mile away and tried to do his best to defend it. Well, we can see TaToH did click up at 657. Why no C2A commands? Maybe you can get TaToH to set that up for you. Who are the statues for? Well, it was kind of eye candy that was already on the map when I converted it into a Call to Arms map. It's called Civil War, so I think the idea is that these are kind of sort of two ruined towns or cities either side of kind of this narrow divide. So it's just kind of adds a little bit of a backstory to the map, if you like. TaToH is going to do one tower on here on the bottom left hand side to try and break his way through these walls, but that's going to take a little bit of time, and in the meantime MbL is just going to be hanging around in the Dark Age for a moment longer, just going up with a stronger economy, and we can see that the economy difference between the two players will be absolutely huge, because MbL is going to have had a lot of villages working a lot earlier than TaToH, and then he's going to get the free wheelbarrow. So TaToH's really got to make this hyper aggressive strategy work for him. You have to think. And no sooner than having built his little island fortress in the swamp, in the shallows, MbL is going to put a hole in the wall and go out. Very nice first gold mine for him to get onto here. You can see both, like all players, have pretty safe gold at the back. I mean, it's not safe in the sense that it can be raided from the shallows, but everybody's got fair access to gold and stone on this map. It's just a feature of it is that you've got to go and secure it first. But it's just kind of forcing the players to kind of adapt to a situation where they've got a little bit of resources, but then have to secure more. TaToH augmenting his tower push with scouts now that he's inside, and that can be quite nice, because not only can they run around and do damage here, but if he finds the outside, like, these villagers will just be dead. So a lot could depend on what TaToH manages to find with his scouts now. You can see that he's kind of realised he can't get in here, so he's going to go and have a look somewhere else, and we'll just keep an eye on whether he finds those gold mines, because that's going to be 3 nice kills for TaToH. So look at home, TaToH not really with many farms, still getting some deer as well as Mongols, which is nice, but obviously there is quite a lot of walking distance. But if he stopped adding scouts and instead he's going for an archery range, whereas MbL, no military production at this point. But MbL senses the danger to these villages up here. He knows those scouts for TaToH were trying to get in, and then he saw them leave over here. So at this, like, he knows they're going to be looking for another way in or something. And indeed, TaToH has gone exactly to the right spot. I think he'd scouted that before, potentially, like he knew it was there because his scout came round the back. But that's still more good scouting information to gain that he is there. Looks like he might try and tower it though, which I don't think MbL will be prepared for. I mean, he could just put one here or something and that would completely deny the gold, and MbL probably won't have line of sight. Outposts for TaToH as well. And he's going to try and wall MbL in a little bit as well. I think he wants to kind of confine him to this island if he can, and just create kind of stranglehold and just slowly increase the pressure. But it's looking like that is going to be feudal age pressure for the foreseeable future, with the resources that he has and the economy that he has. Likewise though, MbL still very, very long way from thinking about clicking up. He's going to be committing to some feudal age warfare with archers as well, and he doesn't have the farmland to go up yet, to be thinking about going up yet. TaToH picking off 1 spearman here at the 2 spearmen at the cost of just 1 scout, and that means he's going to be able to get this tower up. And these villagers are potentially dead at this point, because they're either going to die to the tower or the scouts when they try to run from the tower, unless MbL is able to save them with more scouts and spearmen. But archers are going to be there for TaToH as well, so obviously with the correct micro and in small numbers, scouts and archers is a better combo than archers and spearmen. But let's just see how the micro develops. Not exactly too great for TaToH at the moment, because he's just lost scouts to spearmen, but a bit unnecessarily. He needs to be using those archers to micro against the spearmen. skirmisher as well coming in from TaToH, so he's just got the sort of almost full array of feudal units at this point. But I feel like this fight for now has gone quite well for MbL, just because the number of scouts he managed to take down at a loss of just a couple of spearmen, and the tower, importantly, is not going up for any time soon. TaToH still on. Just going to see. Well, he's moved up to 2 range production now, actually. Villagers for TaToH are going to go down, though, and that's big because it means that that tower is just not going to happen. And MbL's gold income is going to be safe for quite a long time, as long as he keeps TaToH's actual army away from there. I just wanted to see if TaToH was continuing to add production from everything, but yeah, he's got skirmishes and scouts just streaming over to MbL's side of the map. Looks like he really wants to deny this gold, and if he can kind of do this and keep MbL away from gold bars on the edge of the map, then obviously that would be a very, very strong strategy. But he's got to apply that pressure very kind of thoroughly and consistently, because it will be precarious if MbL makes it to the next stage. He's already will have gathered a lot more resources than TaToH at this point in the game, with the Viking economy and nearly 10 villagers ahead. And if Handcart kicks in, if he gets to Castle Age, that will be a very big deal, given that TaToH has kind of cut so much in order to be able to apply this much pressure early on. MbL's tower, though, will mean that TaToH's tower never goes up, even if TaToH brings more villagers forward. We can see that he did manage to get a tower up here, which pushed MbL off that golden stone, which is quite nice, but isn't too pivotal as long as MbL's taking resources on the outside. Oh, nice commands in the chat. That's great. Thank you very much to, I presume, TaF, whoever set that up. Be really helpful, because obviously this tournament has very, very different settings and maps to what players and viewers are used to, so it's helpful to have that, and so I don't have to keep trying to find it. But a fast GG from TaToH. He's just realised he's over-committed to this forward pressure without being able to do enough damage to MbL, who kind of had the right defensive strategy. Feels like TaToH's kind of Mongol push was just an all-in kind of thing, and he just couldn't do it because simple palisade walls just pushed him away for such a long time. We see that MbL just collected so many more resources, 200 more gold, but 1,000 more food and wood, just on the strength of going up later and then having the Viking eco kicking in. And that means that it's 2-0 for MbL. So TaToH, in order to stay alive in Call to Arms, needs to win the next 2 games.